As students head back to school and the pandemic continues on, mental health is a major point of focus in keeping our youth safe. September marks Suicide Prevention Month, and as one local family tells our Lauren Coomer, it's important to have conversations and remove the stigma.
He came to us when he was 11 years old. He came to me, we were in his room one day, and he said, "Dad, I'm just angry all the time and I don't know why." And that really for me was, from my aspect, the start of the journey through the mental health system.
And for the next 8 years, the Miskelleys in Holland would navigate the mental health system with their son Ian. He was put on medications, regularly met with a psychiatrist, and went on to find moments of joy and success as a swimmer, while still battling his personal demons. In the summer of 2018, Ian went up to the University of Michigan on a swimming scholarship, where he continued to thrive in the sport. Then COVID hit.
When the Big Ten championship was ending, and right before the NCAA championships were starting for swimming, COVID really just locked everything down. And his team was really struggling, and therefore, you know, he was part of this team, and we got a call and said, "Hey, Ian's not doing well. He's really struggling." It was 11 o'clock at night.
In July 2020, the 19-year-old ended up with COVID and spent time at home. Once restrictions began lifting a bit in August, he was allowed to return to campus. But his parents say things were a bit off, including their last conversation with him.
We talked to him, and the night before, I won't say that there was any overt sign. We just felt like a little uneasy. We felt like something was off. But you know, we'd had countless conversations with him where something was off, and we felt, you know, I don't know how I feel about that. Let's talk to him tomorrow. You know, let's see how he's doing tomorrow. We had no idea.
Ian died of suicide September 7th, just days before his 20th birthday.
For me, coping, it's difficult. Not gonna lie. As that date gets closer, it gets harder. There's no question about it. You know, we've sought therapy. We've been working with therapists. That's been helpful. You do kind of reach a point where you realize that this is real and this is forever.
As they approached the 1-year anniversary of his death and continue to cope, Ian's parents say having conversations about mental health is key.
We're working to get rid of some of the stigma of suicide, because, you know, even the way you just said it, where he did this isn't something rational. And the other part of the stigma is that parents are embarrassed. You know, nobody really wants to say that their kid is struggling, because they don't, then you get judged. You really do. You get judged, or you're not a good parent. What did you do? I mean, what did you do to cause this? Oh my goodness, I tried my hardest. I mean, I didn't cause anything. And so that's a lot of it, as parents are nervous and don't want to be judged. The child doesn't want to be judged.
The goal of removing stigmas and opening conversations, also echoed by Vinaj Ventures.
We've definitely in the last decade seen the incidence of anxiety, depression, and suicide increase among young people. Especially suicidal thought.
That's why they've created the Telocity Fund to help explore and invest in solutions for young when it comes to mental well-being, something they say is important as classes get back in session.
I thought it was so important that you're addressing this, especially at this time, with our young people going back to school, with the amount of anxiety and stress that's happening in our population.
According to their research, 85% of Americans agree their children would benefit from mental health services.
So what we're learning is young people want, they want a solution that is available for them 24/7.
Telocity helps back philanthropic groups and businesses that are utilizing technology to help reach younger people and help them with mental health struggles.
We've seen some really interesting peer support models where youth want to see other youth and then really kind of come together, kind of online, be able to share resources, to share stories, and having them not feel alone.
The idea of reaching the youth and others struggling is something the Miskelleys are also doing following the death of their son. In June, they announced plans for the Ian Miskelley Be Better Mental Wellness Center in Holland.
First step really a first concrete step for us now is we're offering support groups for parents who are struggling with a child who has depression and anxiety, who are struggling with exactly the navigation that I...
An effort they're hoping to grow in the coming years, helping other families navigate grief and hopefully prevent a loss like theirs.
I think every time we talk about it helps somebody else muster the courage to say, hey, I need help. Telling our story helps us get the word out so that we can help as many people as possible.
All while honoring a son who brought so much to their lives in his 19 years with them.
I'm proud of my son. I'm immensely proud of my son. And it is largely because of the battle he waged and fought every day against this and what he was able to accomplish despite that illness, despite that challenge.
Lauren Coomer, Fox 17 News.
Now, when it comes to possible warning signs, Suicide Prevention Lifeline.org says some of the things to watch out for include people talking about wanting to die or kill themselves, looking for a way to take their lives, like buying a gun, talking about feeling trapped or in unbearable pain, and talking about being a burden to others or withdrawing or isolating themselves. If you or someone you know might be struggling, you can call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at the number on your screen. For more information on Be Better Holland or Telocity, just look for this story on fox17online.com.